Welcome to 2024, and I can't believe we're already at the end of January. And it feels like such a long time since I've jumped on a video and shared some information. And tomorrow is extra special because we start back our New Earth Academy of Eternity. And this is where we delve in and start to really deeply understand what is happening on our planet, what are we part of, the transformation process that is happening. And we delve into some interesting topics. And I'm just going to share a little snippet from the upcoming class so that you can sort of bridge that between what you might all currently know and also what you might learn to understand about the teachings of Grigori Grabovoi. So bear with me. Tomorrow, we're going to jump in and talk about time travel and the illusion of time. What is time? We know from mainstream science, they will tell us that there is a lineal pathway representing time, that we have a past, we have a present, and there is a future. It doesn't tell us, though, how the past affects us in this present moment, and the light of the future also affects us in this present moment. What we do know in quantum physics is that everything around us, our planet, our energy field around us, has a toroidal shape, which means everything is always flowing into the current moment. So this is how our reality, to harmonize everything from what we term as the past, we can harmonize it in the present. But that's a separate training. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about time and what is time, and not based on what as I said, mainstream science teaches us. Everything that exists can be deduced to energy, and energy is actually life. Time is a measurement of our experience of life proximal to where we are. So we might think of, for instance, a week ago and think back an event from a week ago and say, oh, that's the past. Or if you're going on holidays and you're thinking about that time you're going on holidays, you'll talk about that as the future. But that is part of the three-dimensional matrix of time, space, width, depth that we are part of. And it's very, very different. So I'm going to show you a lovely little video tomorrow that will help to explain that and give you something to ponder and consider. I want to talk to you from an expert out of Grigori Grabovoi's books, Number Series for Psychological Norming. And he says here, you can interpret a number as a thought. So our thoughts happen in the present moment, but they all go somewhere. Where does that thought go? It just doesn't float off into the ether, into the sky. Our thoughts have a structure that stays in time and space. At this realizing, the numerical row balances the time of your actions for perception of reality by your comprehension with any volume of information. And when we talk about volume of information, my body's a volume of information. My bottle of water is a volume of information. The events of last week are a volume of information. And it's our perception and comprehension of what happens and we see with our visible eyes that helps to give a depth to our understanding. So such training for taking a number from a thought allows you to transfer events to a form accepted from the point of view of eternal development. When your attention is concentrated, you can see that events may be compressed into a number. So we know that in the steps of changing reality, if you change a particular element in the structure of reality, it changes the information. And so when we compress a number, we're changing the original structure. So you can realize that it is possible to compress an image of a man in a number. The number does not correspond to the person. The psychological base of this principle consists in the fact that for the realization of the inner, coming from the soul's tasks of endlessly developing in a harmonious way, and one must be able to manage physical matter in the future. And the period of time for making the solution solving may be limited, but in the same time, for the information of the past, one can create the direction of special acts using the needed time. With regard to events of the future, it is expediently to accomplish a regulative control in advance, and if it is necessary, to correct the situation in real time. So in real time, we can correct any event from what we deem as the past or deem as the future, because in the information field, it sits as a structure. And so a little bit more to that, I will talk about energy, the law of conservation. Nothing can be destroyed. Energy can't be destroyed, but it can only change. So here's a number sequence from Grigori Grabovoi's book about time and perception. I'll let you read that in your own time. And also a number sequence for recall. How to recall something that we might consider is a long-term memory. You might talk about past lives. Well, past lives exist simultaneously. I'll explain that tomorrow. But it's not that you have to go back. All that is required is for you to be able to concentrate and access the information that sits in the informative field, in the information field. So there's a lot to delve into tomorrow. I hope that gives you a little taste of where we are. And we're going to look at the doctrine of the earth tomorrow, which is from Grigori Grabovoi's text. But one of the things that is our focus for this year is to ramping up our bridging of this knowledge, but not just that, branching of our development, because there is going to be a lot that we're having to handle this year. There will be a lot more revealing, a lot more for us to assimilate and understand how we observe and assimilate that without getting into the negative events, to be the observer of it and not be in the events, to be out of the events. But also it's going to require us to transform what is happening, not just in our present moment or in the past or in the future, but how that will impact not just you, but everybody on this planet. And so if you want to think about what the astrologers used to, or the astronomers used to say, when you look to the heavens, it always gives you an idea of what is going to happen on Earth. And so right at this moment, if you're into astrology, you will know that Pluto is a very transformative planet. And basically when it's in the sign of Aquarius, where it is currently at the moment, for most of this year, and then we'll be out for a brief time and then back in for the next 20 years, everything is being destroyed. The old system is being destroyed. But for humanity to transform, we have to observe what was sitting as destructive energy, or you want distortions in the information field. We're having to witness it, observe it, and say no more. And so this is the part of us moving into high states of consciousness, the return of heaven and earth, of which is not a destination or place to get to. It already exists, but just in another dimension, in another frequency. And so part of our role, especially this year, is to raise the oscillations of our frequency into higher states and not have them be suppressed and compressed by emotions that are lower frequency emotions, like I'm not good enough or fear. Fear is part of the old 3D matrix that we are releasing. And so fear is the perception that in the future, you're going to have a loss without a gain. And fear is based on the past, where your perception is that you've lost something, that there was something missing. And you don't get to see the wholeness at the same time that your perception is saying, I didn't receive this. The Creator has given you the full quantum. It's actually given it to you in another energy form, in another structure, but it's your perception and limited ability to see where you are getting exactly what you want. So this is part of the transformation process that we're taking you all on this year. And certainly I look forward to all of those people who are joining us in the upcoming New Earth Academy classes. And not only that, our training for the year, which you can see at our website, which is e=vs.com.au. So I hope this helps you. Welcome to 2024. We're in for a bit of a ride. Hold on, it's actually going to be great. Bye for now.